Hey everybody, so in this video we're talking about solving quadratics using square roots. So here it says solve the following quadratic equations by square roots. So that just means that we're going to have to use a square root. They don't want you to factor. They want you to use a square root method. So we're going to treat this just like any other equation. So we're going to try to isolate this x squared. So we'll start by adding 108 to both sides. And then here, what we're going to get is 3x squared equals 108. So here we have 3x squared equals 108. And next we will divide by 3. And we're going to get x squared equals 36. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the square root of both sides. So x here is equal to plus and minus 6. Don't forget, we'll always say plus and minus every time we're evaluating a square root. So these are going to be my two solutions. So here, normally you'll see them written in curly braces. My two solutions are negative 6 and 6. Now, both of these are acceptable ways to answer. It's really just going to depend on your teacher. All right? Here, same thing. They're adding 66, so we will minus 66. So here we have 7x squared equals negative 63. And then we will divide by 7. And we will take the square root. Now, what you should be noticing here is that you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So here we would say there are going to be no real solutions. Now, if you are studying higher level math, like specifically Algebra 2, yes, there would be an imaginary solution. But for the purpose of this video, we're only talking about real solutions. So here, there will be no real solutions to this equation. All right? We'll come over here to the one in the middle and we will subtract 3. And now I have 1/2 x squared equals 72. This is 1/2 times x squared. So to undo the 1/2, I can just multiply by 2. So now I have x squared is equal to 144. And the square root is going to be plus or minus 12. And remember, normally what you will do is see these solutions written in your curly braces. So negative 12 and 12. Here, we're going to add 34. Then we'll divide by 16. And we'll take the square root. Now, when you take the square root of a fraction, all you're doing is you're taking the square root of the numerator and the denominator. So our solutions here will be plus or minus the square root of 49 divided by the square root of 16. And then here I would say negative 7/4 and positive 7/4. All right, let's take a look at some other examples of solving by square roots. So in those, our solutions were going to be perfect squares. What if we did not have perfect squares? What would those answers look like? So here, if we add 3 to both sides, we're going to get x squared equals 3. And then we will solve by taking the square root. So x here is going to be plus or minus root 3. And then same thing. Curly brace, negative radical 3 and positive root 3. Now, typically when you have this, you won't write it as a decimal. In higher level math, we don't really like decimals. The radicals are always much better solutions. They're more accurate than a decimal rather. All right, so you don't worry about simplifying unless that is a preference from the teacher. We'll simplify in this video, but I know that even in AP Calculus, there is no reason to simplify, right? As long as you're numerically equivalent, you're going to get full credit for the problem. So here we'll subtract 8 from both sides, and then 56 minus 8, that's going to give us 48. And we'll take the square root here. Now, the square root of 48. When we're simplifying here, we want the largest perfect square that can go into 48, and that's going to be 16. So here, this is really the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. And we know the square root of 16 is 4. So this is x equals plus or minus 4 root 3. So if I had to write it in my braces, this would be negative 4 root 3 and positive 4 root 3. Coming over here to this one, I'll add 126 to both sides. And now we have 2x squared equals 126. And now I'll divide both sides by 2. And then I'll take the square root. So here with 63, I'm thinking, what's the largest perfect square that can go into 63? And I'm thinking that's 9. So I have root 9 times root 7. So my solution here is going to be plus or minus 3 root 7. And when I write this in my braces, I will have negative 3 root 7 and positive 3 root 7. Lastly, here I will add 11 to both sides. So I have 1/2 x squared equals 36. I can multiply both sides by 2. That will give me 72. I'll take the square root. The largest perfect square that can go into 72 is 36. And the square root of that is 6. So here we have plus or minus 6 root 2. So that's negative 6 root 2 and positive 6 root 2. Again, remember, these are the exact same answer. Some teachers will just want you to write out both solutions, but saying plus or minus is the same thing, and this in most cases would be awarded full credit as well. All right, that's a few examples on how to solve by square roots. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see you all in the next video.